There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. You know, it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name.
Hey, yo, what's going on right now? You're watching Casino Is the Name, and Kanye West just released the stem player when he dropped his Donda 2 album. So he dropped the Donda 2 album exclusively on the stem player, which sells for about $200. And I read somewhere that he made $1.3 million the first day or $2.2 million the first day, but he walked away from a $100 million deal, I think with, I don't know if it was with Apple or with Spotify, but he had a $100 million deal on the table and he turned it down, and he decided that he was going to be completely independent because he completely owns all the masters and is completely independent for the release of Donda 2. So, sorry, just got another message. All right, so the reason why this is a genius move, one, of course, it's direct to consumer. He's basically, I think, selling them through the STEM website or through KanyeWest.com or something like that. But if it's a genius move, because one, everybody's looking at the money, right? Yes, he's making more money compared to streams, because I think he said he would have had to stream like 500 million or 50 million streams to make somewhere, I think 500 million streams or something like that to make comparable to what he made on the first day selling direct to consumer through the STEM player. And he had to do it with many far less sales, right? He had only, I think, about 8,000 sales the first day, and they made 1.3 or $2 million or something like that. So everybody's looking at the money. Sorry about the shaking, but everybody's looking at the money. But there's another thing that makes this even more impressive, right? So him and Drake, when Drake dropped, everybody was talking about who's going to have the biggest sales, who's going to make, who's going to have the most album sales, and who's going to have the most streaming numbers and stuff like that. And of course, Drake beat Kanye West out. All right, so everybody knows Drake had the biggest numbers when it came to dropping the album. Right? So it would be smart for Kanye, in my opinion, to maybe get out of the amount of streams game or the album sales game, right? So you don't have to worry about how many sales somebody did if you're getting the money, right? The money talk is much more impressive than the album sales talk, because let's say Kanye album only sold 8,000 copies. If you're only looking at it if it's exclusively through the STEM player. And so if you looked at it in that way, then 8,000 copies, but it made millions of dollars. And Jay-Z said, you want 1 million streams, I want $1 million or something like that. I misquoted, trust me, I misquoted. But this, the sentiment is the same. Y'all worried about having 1 million streams, he want to have $1 million. And so that looks like what Kanye West has flipped this whole concept to. Like, he's out of the album sales game, like to say who has the most album sales. And so now it's like, okay, well, who's making the most money from their music? And let's stop having the album sales discussion and let's talk how much money we're making from our album. And then I think that's where the true genius lies, because it was an appropriate pivot away from showing, hey, I can stream more than Drake, or I can be the biggest streaming artist, or I can sell the most albums out of everybody. I think this is an appropriate pivot since he did lose to Drake. And so instead of just conceding, it's like, all right, yeah, you won that, but I'm coming back at you in a different way. I think it's genius. That's the true genius in it all. I mean, everybody knows that major label artists could have went direct to consumer, but I think that it was an appropriate time for him to transition away from album sales in the traditional sense, since he had this big competition and he kind of lost it. I mean, he won. They both made stupid amount of money and album sales and stuff like that. But I think now, when him switching the conversation, because nobody's really talking about the fact that his album only sold 8,000 copies. We're just talking about how much money he made from selling 8,000 copies first day, right? So I think that's where the true genius lies, in him changing even the conversation. So anyway, right now you're watching Casino Is the Name. Like, share, comment, and subscribe, and we are out.
Hey, yo, what's going on? Right now you're watching Casino Is the Name, and if you wanted to know how I started my trucking business, I have an ebook called Big Shot, Hot Shot Volume 1, Own Your Trucking Authority. It's a great book, 5-star reviews. The link will be in the description below. Go get that. Yeah.
Beat me up, Scotty. Me and
her together, we just count it up. Money on my mind, I can't get enough. Don't play with my money, you don't want no beef. Cause I come from the bottom, I come from the street. When she first saw me, she said, who is that? When a man saw me, he called me a threat. I'm the one that really live with a rap. They ain't never did it, they ain't really trap.
You say you want to be successful. Well, what's stopping you? Can't nothing stop you from being successful except for you. You standing in your own way. I came from the bottom. I ain't know nothing but the grind. You can't tell me nothing about that. I caught the bus at Basin Street Projects in Tallahassee, Florida. You hear me? I used to think $1 million would last me my whole life. I'd have made that and spent that. $1 million ain't enough. There are hedge fund managers making $1 million an hour. I know it's crazy, right? It's money everywhere. It's money in everything. I want to help you. Start your business today. Come join my royal family. Subscribe to Casino Is the Name.